So the reason I wanted to go on ahead and re-record these last two episodes was primarily because I was so tired that I ended up kind of falling asleep during one of the battles that we're going to be seeing in a little bit. And I didn't think that would have been made for like the greatest amount of content, you know, trying to be attentive and all that. So we're going to give this another shot. Hello everybody, my name is David. You can call me Zen, and welcome back to another episode of Tales of Rise. In the previous episode, we had a lot of revelations. If you guys have not seen the last two episodes, I would definitely go ahead and give those take a little watch. This time, our group took a bit of a break point out in this town of Thislam, I believe is what it's called. And we are gonna have to talk to every one of them and kind of regather. My phone just fell. Regather our bearings a little bit. So let's go ahead and talk with Dullahan first.
You're certainly full of surprises, aren't you?
Trust me, it's not intentional.
You'd also
Sorry,
tell
that
like
was
the big
insensitive
change
of
in
me.
Alphen's demeanor, by the way, now that he
There's
remembers
still an
everything.
awful lot I wish I could understand. Every new piece of information seems only to yield further mysteries. The truth feels just as elusive as when we first started. I am well aware of where you got your powers. But why, as a Danon, do you bear the same crest as the current Renan sovereign? More to the point, why choose a Danon for their sovereign in the first place? And then
All
there
these
is
are
the
pretty
maiden,
important questions,
a
and I
figure
think
so
that Dullahan's
powerful.
a lot more
She's
insightful
playing
than a
yin to
lot
the
of people give him
sovereign's
credit
yang in
for.
esoteric ceremonies. And yet, I've never even heard of her.
But he has a different
Then
perspective
again,
as a Renan.
This all occurred 300 years ago. What if the term sovereign doesn't even hold the same meaning as it did back then?
God,
Listen,
even looking at Alphen's
I
face, he
may
looks
be a
so much
traitor
worse
among
here.
my people,
Like he is so
but
tired of
I
this
am
life
still
at the
Renan,
moment, and you can just
born
really
and
see it
raised.
conveyed in his face.
I learned the same history, listened rapt to the same tales. And yet now I feel like there was little truth to any of it.
Speaking of which, there's something else that I remember from the spirit channeling ceremony. It used the Renis Alma.
You're certain?
Yes, or at least that's what they called it. Only you would know if it was one and the same.
Oh, I have never laid eyes on the real artifact myself.
We got like
And
the
you never
Lord that has the
participated in a
least
crown
amount of
contest.
information in our party,
You're
by
not
the
even
way.
Renan.
3 centuries is more than several lifetimes. Was I really out that long?
Well, I'm only estimating based on historical record, but all the facts would seem to point that way.
I
Who the
think
hell
that
am
there
I?
might be a
If I
calamity
may be
that was
frank,
undocumented.
we have even bigger fish to fry than that. By comparison,
But
the
I'm
far
just
more
throwing
important
darts on a
question at hand
board,
is,
and you know,
just
something's
what
gonna
does it
stick
all mean?
eventually.
Frank, huh?
Sometimes we need a little help in addressing the truth behind our pain. Not to compete over lives lost, but I suspect your count is still somewhat beneath mine.
Thanks for lending me an ear. And sorry for being a bother.
Please, no thanks are necessary. The quicker you get back on your feet, the sooner we can all get back out there.
All right, there's one. So the way that I'm actually going to do this is that I'm going to head over to Rinwell, then Law, who's going to be somewhere up there, and then Kisara. So it'll all make sense about why I decided to go about this type of routing.
All this time, I thought it was the worrying about Shion and the pain bringing you down. I didn't realize you were lonely too.
I guess all of us are. In one way or another.
Yeah, but you've only just found out.
Everyone's
I mean,
lonely in some
no,
way, shape, or
not
form.
Found out. Remembered.
Rinwell has no family. Alphen has no body. Law has no dad. Kisara has no brother. Dullahan, I mean, he's the only one who didn't lose anything really outside of like some of his supporters for how he's like perceived and treated things.
To tell you the truth, I was actually beginning to forget I'd even lost my memory in the first place. Now that it's returned, well, you can see what I'm like. It's strange. When I think about
like I said, his
Lenegis,
demeanor
it
is so
still
different.
feels like it was only a year or two ago that I was there. But then I realized what feels like years was actually centuries ago.
But you don't
What
know that
about
for
your
certain. We
hometown?
just only know that based off
Do
of
you know if
anecdotal
it's still
evidence that
there?
we have.
I doubt it. When the Renans invaded, the world as I knew it changed overnight. Even if the place is still there physically, I expect the people will be long gone. Certainly everyone I knew, at least. My family, my friends.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
Yeah,
I have no home
the
to
one
return
person
to either. No family waiting for me. I
How did
used
Alvin
to
already
curse my
forget?
bad luck that I'd ever been born a mage in the first place. Otherwise, if I hadn't, maybe my mother and father would still be alive today. Although if that had been the case, I guess I'd probably still be just another slave with no means to resist. I'd never have met up with you guys, that's for sure.
Have you learned to embrace your powers yet?
Nuh-uh. I resent them a little less than before, though. They've kept me alive this long, right?
I missed that part of the
try not to
conversation when I
think about
originally
too
heard
much.
it.
After all, who can predict what the future will hold? I guess what I'm trying to say is that with everything that's happened in your past, finding out you're the sovereign and all, it's no wonder you're conflicted. Heck, honestly, I think anyone would be.
Rinwell.
First it was Shion, then it was me, and now it's you. All of us suffering, just because of some power we never even asked for.
Yeah, all this time you were suffering right in front of me, and I never even knew. I feel like I finally understand what you and Shion were going through.
You couldn't have known. Still, if you want to make it up to her, shouldn't we hurry it up and rescue her already?
See,
Poor Shion
Rinwell's
must be
got it.
lonely, all by herself wherever she is.
Yeah, you're right. Let's get going.
I will say Rinwell's not nearly as apprehensive as she was previously. Like, one of the things that I've noticed is that, you know, when we first met Rinwell, she was so feverishly against, like, the Renans and everything, and now you can tell that ever since this whole thing with, I already forgot her name. Well, the person we killed 2 episodes ago, or the person who died 2 episodes ago. She is, so Rinwell's chippered up a lot more.
Alphen, are we gonna go rescue Shion or what? What's gotten into you, man? Aren't you worried about her?
Do I even have any right to be?
If you
Yes,
were
you
in
do.
my place, you'd say, to hell with all that. What do you want to do?
Sounds like me. Pretending I have all the answers is kind of my forte.
And it's
Come on,
worked
man,
so
snap
far.
out of it. This isn't like you. Look, I get it. You finally remember your past only to feel like you've lost yourself again. You're in shock, and who wouldn't be? Worse still, you blame yourself for what happened. And yeah, I don't agree, but that doesn't mean I don't understand either. But here's the thing. None of that's
I
got
wonder who voices
anything to do
Law.
with
I
Shion.
feel like it's a very
guess.
familiar voice.
It's about Naori, isn't it? Look, you're still here, aren't you? Who's to say this chick isn't alive and kicking out there somewhere too?
See, Law gets it.
Fine, I've said my piece. The thing is, though, where does this leave Shion?
My power consumed me once already. I left behind a path of fire and destruction. And the same thing could happen again.
You want to know
I
what's
can't
the big
guarantee anyone's
the big
safety,
difference?
including
You have
Shion's.
friends to help you.
So you think we might get burned up because of your sovereign powers? I can think of worse ways to go. Come on, fight. What happened to the guy who talked to me after my dad died? The one who cared enough to reach out and save me. That's the guy I was proud to follow. Not this faltering imposter who's taken his place. No, I'm serious. What's gotten into you, man? Just give me the word and I'll beat some sense into you if that's what it takes. Now,
We
I'm gonna
love
ask
the
you this
punchy
once and
archetype of
only
character in
once.
Tales
Are you
games.
serious
They're
about
always ready to
rescuing
beat
Shion or
people up
not?
at a moment's notice.
What's it gonna be, Alphen?
What do you think? Of course I want to rescue her. Hell, I'd do it right now if I could.
So then quit griping and do it already!
Period.
Listen, you're probably right about all this.
Alphen,
It's exactly like you said. Whatever happened in my past has nothing to do with Shion. But there's still so much that There I go again. So much for the inspiring Alphen of old.
he could be a pain sometimes. Besides, even a hero has to let the cracks show once in a while, right?
Yeah, just give me a little more time to fill in the cracks. And thanks, Law.
Hey, don't even mention it. You've totally got this, Alphen. I believe in you.
Wait, I thought that Law's first thing was holding up like the heart gesture, like holding it with both your hands and you just go like that. But I don't I don't think he actually was, so. But if he was, that would have been incredibly wholesome. I'm still a little tired, so we're probably only going to report up to this episode and then just like,
What do you see out there?
just call it for a sec.
Zoogles. Strays by the looks of it. We unwittingly disturbed their territory on our way here, and now they're looking pretty riled up. So, feel like you're making headway? You know, sorting through things?
All I know is Shion needs our help. As for what happens after that...
Say, how did you get back down here from Lenegis anyway?
I came down in a Renan starship. I have Naori to thank for that.
Naori was
What
pulling
happened
some
to her?
strings. Oh my
Did she
goodness.
come with you?
She stayed behind, just as I wanted to get back to Dana and my people. Naori's place was with her fellow Renans, performing her duties as the maiden. Neither of us asked for the power or roles we were given. I suppose we felt a kinship with each other in that sense. But even then...
Wait, so you mean it wasn't just Danans like you that Lenegis abducted? You're saying they forced Naori, one of their own, to serve against her will as well?
Even within Renan society itself, there exists a hierarchy. I don't think she was ever given the option to refuse. Despite that, she did everything she possibly could to serve her people. The very same ones I ended up slaughtering. And even after
How
that,
do you know
she
for
still
sure
helped
that
me
it
escape
was your
back to
fault?
Dana.
You have blood on your hands.
She stayed
But
behind on Lenegis to
Who
help
knows
any
like
of her people
what
who
actually
survived.
happened during that ceremony? The only person
I
who
owe
would
her
know is
more than
Naori,
words
right?
can express. A debt left to fester for what? 300 years? How do I even begin to make up for something like that?
You don't.
In all honesty, you don't. You can't atone for what's happened in the past. I don't think anyone can, be it several centuries ago or just yesterday.
What are you saying? That I might as well give up?
I'm
No.
saying you don't have to be a white knight in shining armor. Back after my brother had passed away, it was you who told me that his dream lived on inside me. And you did the same for him, for Dohalim, when he was ready to give up too. You were there for both of us. You know what I heard? I heard you telling me to keep fighting, to strive no matter what.
And I was out of line. I had no right to ask that of you.
No?
You're
No?
wrong. Those words were exactly what I needed to hear at the time. In fact, I would go as far as to say that I wouldn't even be here had I not heard them. Left to my own devices, who knows when I would have been able to pick myself up. Besides, it's not like killing all those people was a choice that you made of your own free will, right? The truly terrible ones are the people who abducted you. The ones who forced you to wield that power. They're the ones you should be blaming. Not only that, but that guilt you feel inside, that's all the proof you need to know you're a good person, Alphen. Do you understand? If I'm still allowed to fight and keep on living, then damn it, Alphen, so the hell are you.
And that's on period.
But if you're still not convinced, then ask yourself this. What is it that you've really been fighting for this whole time? Go on, ask yourself.
What I've been fighting for, huh?
What are you even fighting for?
Back to the inn, I guess.
All right, let's head back to the end. You see, that's the reason why I wanted to stay basically around here, was just so that way I could just regroup at the end notably faster.
Alphen! There you are!
What is it?
Zoogles,
Oh, that's-
that's what! They're almost at the village gates!
That...
Oh, okay.
Sounds bad.
Sorry, I've accidentally hit X, and
Can
now
you
I
fight?
understand. I was like, what was
No
that?
shame in bowing out if you're not up for it.
Kisara's right.
So if you hit X,
You don't
it'll
wanna go
just
overdoing
immediately
it.
cut to the next, like, shot with the dialogue. That was my bad,
I'm
but I
up
was kind of
for it.
curious.
Really?
You ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. It's now or never, right?
Alphen, right! Great to have you back! Now let's do this!
All right, let's get it. Like I said, it has been a little bit. Law got something new, and he can get increased elemental attack. Law has a lot of titles that he can complete.
Look sharp, people. If we don't act fast,
Okay.
they're going to get to the village.
Right.
So the big thing that we need to do is that we need to hurry up and get ready to fight these Zoogles. This one shouldn't be nearly as bad of an experience. So what had made me decide to like justify
Remember,
doing this
if the paint's too
re-recording?
much,
We've all got our own pain to deal with. I'm done letting others pick up my slack.
Here they come.
Oh, okay. Now that I can actually talk. So, it was during this battle where I had unfortunately that I had actually fallen asleep like mid-combat, like I was just focusing. And normally, like, you could argue that I could have just edited this out because this is ultimately what a regular mob battle. But I don't know, it didn't feel like that was the appropriate call to make. I need to actually have Dohalim in the party, if only because he's the only healer that I really have left, since Xion used to like fulfill that role quite heavily.
I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life! Not a chance!
It's gonna be weird seeing like Alphenless executions for a little bit. Good job on learning the discharge, Rinwell, but unfortunately the target is a little MIA. Oh, do I have other healing guards from disabled or something? No, it's just Lionheart. So I guess when you only have regeneration, you can only do so much, huh? Soaring Light Spear is such a good ability, just as a heads up. So I wonder if there's... Oh, I'm just done. I'm gone. Alright, there we go.
Stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life!
I'll stop your movement, and I'll stop your life, and I'll stop this, and all of that too.
Alphen, you okay?
I'm fine. This pain thing really hurts, huh?
But hey, at least you're still alive.
It wouldn't
That
be
is one of
called
the things
pain
that I
if
noticed
it was
that
pleasant. It can be
Volron-
pretty useful, though. It's good motivation to improve and get stronger.
Guess I've got a lot of room to improve in that regard.
Like he's like, hey,
Anyway,
you feel
I'm
that?
glad we could protect
That means
the
you're still
village,
alive. I
especially
remember that
after
line
everything they've done
specifically.
for us.
Yeah.
you know, this limb kind of reminds me of home. The people here have hidden themselves away out of the fear of being found, always watching their backs. Though in the end, home was destroyed anyway.
That won't happen here.
Because they're gonna get in the way.
Is that a hint of fighting spirit I sense?
Yeah,
Just a little bit. Just a teensy bit.
I won't lie. Some of these memories will take a while to process. But I've learned something too.
Do you remember how to use your sovereign powers? Do we have something to use instead while
rage.
Sion's gone?
This fury I feel at our so-called rulers. It comes from having so much of myself stripped away from me back then. Friends, family, home. They took everything from me and left me with nothing but guilt. I was completely alone.
Oh, and this is back to being
That's
blind
what I
again, by the
thought.
way. Starting right from literally this cutscene.
But not anymore. Since I awakened, I've met people who I care about. Friends who hold me up.
Period.
Friends who make me feel like I'm worth something.
We love this motivational speech.
And I won't lose that. Not ever again. I'll protect those bonds with everything I have. That's why I need to keep fighting.
We love a pro tag who like goes through it for only like 10 minutes and then
But
remembers
Xion
his
comes
fighting
first.
will. We love it. We love it.
Of course. First we rescue Xion, then we defeat Volron and liberate Dana. Everyone, will you fight with me?
Yeah! Let's do it!
Say the word and I'm there.
Certainly no objections.
Period.
Then it's agreed. Our next stop will be the capital, Pelegion. According to the villagers, there's a huge cliff separating Thistleum from the capital. Luckily for us, there's a path we can use to climb up.
Do you ever have like a real
plan.
big itch in the
Let's
back of your
go.
head? Sometimes I'd really just be spouting whatever just comes to mind. But I feel like that's a part of what makes commentary so endearing between person to person.
We don't know what lies ahead. We should prepare well before
And I 100% agree with them. We should
we
prepare.
venture forth.
Yeah, can't exactly fight at the top of your game when you're hungry.
Good point. Let's stop by the inn and plan our next move from there.
All right. So we do have a skip. Mahar gone something.
By the way, how is Mahavar doing? Wait, don't tell me we still haven't found him.
It's not like we haven't been looking. I've covered the whole length and breadth of the coast, but
All of the other crew members are accounted for, including us. But we weren't able to find Mahavar.
That's
He's still
concerning.
missing.
Oh, he was the boat guy.
I see.
Perhaps he couldn't bring himself to abandon the ship.
You mean at the bottom of the ocean? Damn it.
We don't know that it sank. We all washed up on the same shore. If the ship went down, isn't it strange we haven't come across a single piece of debris?
Do you think he might still be alive somewhere out there?
I think so.
I think stranger things have happened. Whether he's alive or otherwise, we've exhausted all the avenues available to us. All we can do now is press on ahead.
Fine, let's get going.
We do also have a side quest. Oh, this in the village. Okay, fine. I guess we won't go to
Thistleum
the
was
end.
founded by Danans fleeing the tyranny of Renan lords, right? But when you first came, they must have known Dohalim was Renan. So why do you think they let us in?
they almost didn't. But it wasn't just Dohalim they were wary of. They didn't trust any of us.
Even the weird Danans just like them?
When you live life in constant fear of being pursued, it's only a matter of time before all outsiders start to seem a potential threat.
I suppose
makes sense.
makes sense. So how did you convince them to trust us?
You saw how destitute the village was. They needed food, badly. We hunted some Zeugles for them. That seemed to do the trick.
Of course, a little magic-assisted roast didn't hurt things.
Never
love
underestimate a
that.
full stomach's ability to put a person at ease. It turns out a hearty meal can be a powerful weapon.
I wholeheartedly agree. Alright. Beyond Vengeance. Oh my god, they have skits just ready for us. Just skits upon skits upon
Something's on your
skits.
mind. You having second thoughts about rescuing Xion?
I don't think it was that she has concern
Shion's
with.
our friend. Almadria was the one I hated.
Oh,
For as
Madria,
long
that's
as I
her
can
name.
remember, she served as a symbol to me of everything Renan. But ever since getting to know Xion, I realized it doesn't make sense to group people together like that. Every individual is different.
We love character
I
development.
see.
Rinwell, thank you.
Besides, the situation with Almadria was something else entirely. I'd already decided I wasn't going to kill her, but when I saw her die right in front of me, a part of me thought it served her right, that she'd gotten what she deserved. But another part regretted that someone else had come along and killed her instead. Don't get me
What
wrong.
if she's still alive and we're about to
If
have
I
like a
had the
round two
chance
fight a
again,
little bit later?
I still wouldn't kill
Because,
her.
you know, when these people
But it's not
die,
like I'll be
their
shedding
bodies
any
need to
tears
fade
now that
away.
she's gone.
It's the Resident Evil rule.
It's all so confusing. I don't know how to make sense of any of it.
Who said it had to make sense?
Isara's right.
Rinwell, you've done nothing wrong. You've started to question the beliefs you've held all your life. It's only natural for you to feel disoriented. You didn't give in to the
Isara
hatred you
understands.
felt for Almadria. You made a choice not to kill her. And that's significant, whether you realize it or not. As for what it means exactly, that might be worth taking some time to figure out on your own.
Some time.
Or don't, if you don't want to. It's just an idea. I'm still searching too, remember?
No, I think you're right. It can't hurt to keep searching after all. And hey, thanks, Kisara.
This is such a cute little skit. I'm glad I watched it. All right. So we still have a couple of places to kind of visit. We have... Are these some mines? All right, we have dwelling, which unfortunately doesn't look like there's anything for us here. So we do have a side quest that we can pick up, and it might be something that's worth doing along the way. But realistically, we should head
Do you
over.
sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
So there's some people. There's a friend for Hoodle to see. But I also wanted to get the sea bream here. Yeah, I can't swim out much further than that. Let's see. Alright, so we have 2 side quests that I was able to see so far. But may actually be time for a quick little side questy quest episode. But we can worry about that after we like use a little bit of gear and item preparation. Okay, now we have access to it. Yeah, that's probably gonna be the last thing that we do for this episode / part, is that we're gonna do some crafting and then just kind of just catch things up. So we can go ahead and craft a new thunder nail. Mainly because we don't have the materials for a flare claw. It's not that big of a deal. We can also make Art of the Cosmos. We can make the new flame gauntlets, which probably are better. And I think as of right now, we can probably... All right, we can chill on those. Oh, the silver dog tags are worth so much. Oh my goodness. And then we can go through the armor that we don't need anymore. But yeah, this is a whole part of the process, right? There's a lot of different materials and things we can always get away with selling. I wish that we could organize it by... Is it by price right now? No, it's not. So this is by price right now. So you can see how many astral crystals we have. We can sell literally like 25 of these and not be hurting like at all. So we're doing pretty good on the monetary
Have you guys
front.
checked your equipment lately?
Gosh, there's so much we can like kind of mess around with and make. But I wonder what's the big value in like making accessories sometimes, because like looking at some of the stuff that we were able to make just feels like that's something we have to probably like go farming for eventually, you know? All right, everyone's got their new armor. Get our partial refund back. But this part of the game is going to look to be a little bit more difficult just as a whole, strictly for the fact that we're kind of at a point where without Shion around, it's gonna make healing just a lot more difficult as a whole. So we do have to do a little bit more preparation accordingly. But we did the best that we could for what we had at the moment. So I think with that said, I'm gonna rest at the end, get us all caught up, and do a little resty rest. Then we can go on ahead and call it a day.
This is a true masterpiece, no less than...
So while we're resting up, I do want to go on ahead and thank every single one of you guys for watching this video. It might be, like I said, editing this together might be a little bit of a mess, but it's one of those things that I'll kind of have to play by ear and figure out as we go along to it. But if you guys haven't already, go on ahead and interact with the video in some way, shape, or form, and subscribe if you want to see more. All that information is feedback to me that I'm doing something well. So thank you guys all once again, and I'll be sure to see you guys all in the next one. You guys have a good rest of your day or night whenever you're watching.